Askwani Tampuad. Welcome back to another episode of Tamaquag Museum's Children's Hour. Today I'm going to be sharing a book with you called Woodchuck Visits Algonquian Cousins. This is a really beautiful book with beautiful pictures. Let me see if I can share my screen so you can see. Woodchuck Visits Algonquian Cousins. This is a book about Algonquin words that are used in the American English language, and it was written by Karen Cooper. Karen Cooper and the illustrator, Hilary Glass, are both members of the Oklahoma Band of Cherokee, and you can find out more about their tribal community by visiting this link right here. Now, I was able to connect with Karen to get permission to read this book to you. This was a self-published book, and she had a goal of turning this into a series of adventures with Woodchuck. But unfortunately, it's really difficult and expensive to self-publish, so she wasn't able to realize that dream, although she's hoping someone will one day. And she gave us permission to share this story with you, and she said we could keep it posted on our YouTube page so that you can enjoy it more and share it with others. So it'll be there all the time for you. There's not going to be any limit on this video. You can learn more about Karen Cooper and more of the work that she's doing as an artist and as an author by visiting this link right here. I was also able to connect with the artist Hilary Glass, and she shared her Instagram page with me so that you can check out some of her artwork. See if I can pull it up. Doesn't she do absolutely beautiful work? It's a really great illustrator. And I was kind of looking at some of the other pieces that she's done. She's won some contests with her artwork. It's really very stunning. So definitely check this out when you have some more time. Let's see if I can pull it back up. You definitely want to support our Indigenous artists. So take a look, follow her, and share with your friends and family. Woodchuck Visits Algonquin Cousins. All of the words in this book that are italicized are based on the Algonquin language. So you'll see many italicized words in this story. When I say italicized, they're the words that instead of being straight up and down, they're just a little bit slanted. And that's so you can know that those words are special. They actually originate from traditional native words from the Algonquin language. So let's see if you can pick out all the Algonquin language words while I'm reading this story. After a breakfast of persimmons and squash, Woodchuck is ready to travel. Woodchuck lives in Massachusetts, near the Connecticut River. Today, Woodchuck is going to visit her cousins. They have Algonquin Indian names too. Woodchuck doesn't travel like people do, but she likes to visit Algonquin friends and family. Woodchuck travels through her tunnels to anywhere she wants to go. North, east, south, west. Woodchuck can go anywhere, anytime, from Alaska to South America. Algonquin languages extend from Wyoming to Massachusetts to Manitoba and more. The words on the map are from Algonquin-based words from these following tribes. I'll give you a minute to take a look at all of the different tribes that are on here. Now, one of the things the author wanted you to know is that some of these tribal names are not necessarily Algonquin words, but that's because sometimes tribal names that stuck are the names that were given to them by other tribal communities, and that's what the English picked up on and kept using, and that's what those names that kind of stuck in the communities. But they're not even the tribe's own names for themselves or even in their own languages. And there's also times that tribes were named by other native tribes, and because the English got used to hearing and using those names, that's what they ended up calling them even today. So that's why some of these words that describe the tribe are not necessarily Algonquin words, but those tribes do use Algonquin-based languages. All of these Algonquin languages are different and unique, but they come from the same family of dialect. So that means that they're kind of related. And a lot of these tribal communities would have been able to communicate with one another and understand one another. A lot of the words are similar because of that same family dialect of Algonquin language. And you can see all the different places where you can find Algonquin language. In Maine, she tunnels to the top of Mount Katahdin in Piscataquis country. Woodchuck watches moose get his picture taken by Micmac tourists. Next, Woodchuck arrives in the middle of Manhattan's busy streets. She helps a possum and skunk hang American Indian art in the museum. Maybe some art just like Hillary's done in this book. Then Woodchuck tunnels south to the Susquehanna River to visit Raccoon. The cousins paddle the new bark canoe on Chesapeake Bay. Later, Woodchuck arrives in Chicago, Illinois. She swims in Lake Michigan with cousin Muskaloonge. Cousin Muskrat lives in Ottawa, Canada. They enjoy a powwow dance. Soon, Woodchuck is hungry for hickory nuts and visits Chipmunk in Milwaukee. But now the sun is setting, and it is time to leave Wisconsin and hurry back to Massachusetts. Woodchuck enjoyed visiting her family, and she liked speaking Algonquin words. Did you? Now there are new photos of moose and muskrat on the wall. The end. So the author Karen Cooper actually used to live here in Connecticut, which is right next door to Rhode Island. And she's actually visited us here at the Tamaqua Museum before. So I hope that one day she'll be able to come back and I'll get to meet her in person. What words do you know that come from indigenous languages? I bet you know a lot more words than you think. Words like chipmunk, moose, kayak, canoe, skunk, even words like barbecue and hammock are all derived from indigenous languages all over the country. Barbecue actually comes from barbacoa, which is a Taino word. Words like Massachusetts and Connecticut, those are words that you heard in the story. And they are Algonquin words. Massachusetts means great hill. Connecticut means up the long river. And there's, I think, around 27 states that actually are named from Native American words. You can learn about more words that you use every day that originated from Native American languages by visiting these links here. And that's a great resource for figuring out where these words came from, what they looked like before they kind of got changed and altered into the things that we say today. And you can find out all about those origins there. Even place names, a lot of places that you live, roads that you might live on, ponds that you might swim in. A lot of these words come from native languages. So I took just Charlestown, Rhode Island, which is where I'm from, and pulled out some names that I knew came from the Narragansett language. Words like Shamuckanuk, which means high enclosed place or a place of refuge that's really high up. Watchhog, we love going swimming in Watchhog Pond. It's a beautiful pond. And Watchhog actually means hill country. Quanakantog, which means two long ponds that are connected to each other in succession. Sauk's Island. So Sauk's Island is both an outlet, but it can also mean like black mud. Powidget, which is a small, clear meadow. Matunuck, which is a high observation place. Even Ninigret was the name of a chief of the Narragansett people. You can learn more about places in Rhode Island and other places around New England from this link right here, what their native words are, what those words mean. It's a really great resource to try to find out if places that you live here in New England actually come from native languages and what they mean. There's some other resources as well right here that I've shared for you, as well as some information about Chief Ninigret since I mentioned him, in case you want to know a little bit more. This is part of the road tour in Rhode Island. What's really cool about the road tour is you can take a road trip and you can visit a lot of places and find out through the road tour what the historical significance of those places are. It's a really fun thing to do on an afternoon when you're kind of bored at home, we're all quarantining. You could go for a nice ride and stay safe in your car and check out some of these places. Onontuwonk, that means language in the Narragansett language. Onontuwonk. So I have a fun challenge for you. Take a drive around your state and see how many places or streets that you can find that have indigenous names. Can you find out what indigenous language they're from? And what do they mean now? So if you can do that, send some photographs to me. Let me know what places that you found and what you learned, what languages they came from, what tribal communities those words came from, and what they mean today. I'd really love to see where you've been visiting and what you've learned. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's Children's Hour. If you have any questions or if there's anything you want to share with me, I'd love for you to contact me. My email address. I usually share it in the description of the video, but you can also get it just from visiting our website. And feel free to message me anytime. I love to see what you guys are doing. Thank you for reading this book with us today. Woodchuck Visits Algonquin Cousins. And if you want to check that book out, you can look for it on the internet. I'll include links of where you can find it on our resource guide on our website, so definitely check that out. I'll also be sharing all of these links on there as well. So that's on our website, on our Children's Hour page, and there'll be links in the description. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope to see you again next week. Pishkanashnitam.